Kash Patel was absolutely on fire yesterday during a Senate hearing. He was ready because he knew they were going to go all over him. We're going to show you some of the best stuff with Macy Hirono, the president of the Mensa Club there in the Senate, and also Adam Schiff. But we're going to start with Cory Booker. Cory Booker didn't get as many headlines, but he was probably the most insulting and odious and demeaning and despicable senator yesterday. And that's saying something, questioning Kash Patel. And Kash, I think, may have caught Cory Booker admitting to participating in a federal crime. I'll show you that clip in a sec. But first, here's how it started with the fine senator from New Jersey.
Mr. Patel, in just 8 months, you have assaulted the institutional integrity of the FBI. But I know FBI field agents. I've worked with them in Newark. No matter how truly bad you are, you can't undermine the legacy of agents who fight every day to keep us safe, but you can tarnish the integrity of the agency and undermine the agency's capacity. I believe you're failing as a leader, and that your failure does have serious implications for the safety and security of Americans and our families. We're more vulnerable to domestic and foreign attack because of your failures of leadership. I don't think you're fit to hand the bureau, but here's the thing, Mr. Patel. I think you're not going to be around long. I think this might be your last oversight hearing. Because as much as you supplicate yourself to the will of Donald Trump and not the Constitution of the United States of America, Donald Trump has shown us in his first term and in this term, he is not loyal to people like you. He will cut you loose. This may be the last time I have a hearing with you because I don't think you're long for your job. But I'm going to tell you this. I pray for you. I pray for you that you can step up and defend your oath, defend the Constitution, and do a much better job of defending this country. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Do you want to say anything?
Yes, sir. That rant of false information does not bring this country together. If you want to work on bringing this country, it's my time, not yours.
My God.
If you want to talk about
dividing this country,
it is my time.
I follow you on your social media posts that tear this country apart.
To address your falsehoods.
Oh, you can try all you want
in this country.
To not take responsibility for what you have said.
Time.
Sir, you're making a mockery of this committee. Sir, you don't tell me my time is over. The people of New Jersey tell me what my time is. You can't lecture me.
You can tell me my time's over.
You may be the charge of the
I'm not going anywhere.
but I am not afraid of you,
Mr. Chairman.
Not afraid of you.
Mr. Chairman, point of order.
Senator Booker, I announced at the beginning of this meeting that this back and forth talking over each other doesn't work. And I said, if that happened, I asked Patel not to respond, and I was going to give him some time after the senator's time was up to respond. And he has the privilege to do that uninterrupted.
Mr. Chairman, one point of order.
Go ahead, Mr.
I've
Patel.
watched him talk over us, and you've never once criticized him for us not even being able to get our questions out.
Well,
Point of order. Cory Booker is a whiny little bitch. All right, proceed.
He has been rude and disrespectful to senator after senator.
And when the senators were not giving him a chance to answer, I didn't stop the senator either. Go ahead, Senator.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. If the FBI, under my 7-month leadership, were failing this administration in this country, why do we have 23,000 violent felons arrested this year alone? A double increase from that time last year. Why is it that we have seized 6,000 weapons? Why have we found 1,500 child predators and arrest them? Why have we 300 human traffickers in jail? Why have we found and identified 4,700 children? Why have we seized 1,600 kilograms of fentanyl enough to kill a third of the American public, a 25% increase alone from last year, 88,000 kilograms of cocaine seized, 7,000 kilograms of meth seized, and that's just on our criminal operations in summer heat. How is it possible that we're taking 8 kilograms off the streets of the cities in New Jersey and preventing the deaths of 607,000 people this year alone, a failure of the FBI and my leadership? How is it that we have counterintelligence arrests already this year exceeding the numbers from the entirety of last year? 33% increase in PRC, 83% in Russia, 60% in the CI space as it relates to Iran. And we haven't even talked about CT, the southern border, the northern border.
Amen. Drop the mic, Kash Patel. That's what I voted for, times 10. That was a beautiful thing. But something happened right before this during the questioning when Cory Booker was trying to execute some sort of gotcha moment about Kash Patel's grand jury testimony as it related to the Mar-a-Lago documents case, right? Kash Patel was asked to testify in the investigation of Donald Trump having documents down at Mar-a-Lago, claiming that they were classified top secret documents that Donald Trump shouldn't have had. But of course, as everybody knows, grand jury testimony is sealed. It's secret. And Cory Booker may have, in this clip you're about to see, may have admitted to participating in federal crime. The federal crime related to the release or exposure of grand jury testimony. Now, Cory Booker tries to get Kash Patel to reveal his own testimony, which would not be against the law. Any person who testifies for a grand jury can then go out and say, here's what I told the grand jury. But in trying to get Kash Patel to do that, he appears to reveal that he already knows what that testimony was. And if somebody told him, well, that would be a crime. Now, watch for yourself, and then we'll discuss.
To what you said before the grand jury.
To whatever was released. Under my understanding, Senator,
So
that the Department of
hold on.
Justice
You and I both
released-
understand the law. Let me finish. I understand under Rule 6 of the Federal Rules of Procedure, a grand jury witness, in this case you, is not barred from sharing their grand jury testimony. This is an oversight hearing. This is germane to your integrity and credibility. You know right now whether or not you testified that President Trump declassified the documents at issue in the Mar-a-Lago classified documents case. Why are you refusing to answer that simple yes or no question right now?
Because the premise of your question is inaccurate. And
There is no premise to my question, but trying to get to an order of what is truth or not.
How do you How do you know what was asked in the grand jury if you weren't there?
Mr. Patel, this is a mockery you're making of this hearing and simple questions.
It's a simple question. If you have
Mr.
a
Patel,
transcript,
during
you can
your
read the question,
nomination
but you don't have
hearing,
it.
you promised that, quote, all FBI employees.
All right, that was the exchange there. Did you see it? Well, Kash Patel said, hold on. Because Cory Booker was saying, did you say this before the grand jury? And Kash Patel decided not to comment on it. He doesn't have to. And Cory Booker thought he had a gotcha. It's like, well, why won't you say it? Why won't you say it? And then Kash just sort of, you can see like a little light bulb goes off like at Cash's face. He's like, wait a second. How do you know what I said before the grand jury?
Because the premise of your question is inaccurate. And
There is no premise to my question, but trying to get to an order of what is truth or not.
How do you know how do you know what was asked in the grand jury if you weren't there?
Mr. Patel, this is a mockery you're making of this hearing and simple questions.
It's a simple question. If you have
Mr.
a
Patel,
transcript,
during
you can
your
read
nomination.
the question.
How indeed does Cory Booker know what was asked in the grand jury proceedings if he wasn't there? The only way he would know that is if somebody told him. And if somebody told him, that would be a violation of federal law. And by the way, the only entity that has that information and would have been able to tell Cory Booker would be somebody who worked in Merrick Garland and Joe Biden's Justice Department. Or perhaps a fellow senator, or maybe a former congressman who is now a senator who got the information from somebody in the Justice Department. Now, is there a former congressman who's now a senator who would deal with some sort of violation of federal laws to try to get Donald Trump and Kash Patel? Oh, there's this guy. Understand that Adam Schiff and Kash Patel go way back. 10 years ago, when Devin Noonan was the chairman of the House Select Committee on Intelligence, Adam Schiff was the ranking member, the top Democrat on that committee. Kash Patel, he was the lead counsel for Chairman Nunes. It was in that capacity, along with Chairman Nunes, that they uncovered all of the lies and all of the corruption of Russiagate. Now, Kash Patel is the FBI director, and Adam Schiff is a senator from California. I think that's all the setup you need. Take it away, gentlemen.
Believe that? Do you think they're stupid?
No, I think the American people believe the truth, that I'm not in the weeds on the everyday movements
Oh,
of
you're not in
inmates.
the weeds.
What I am
The
doing is
most-
protecting this country,
the
providing
most
historic
significant
reform,
witness-
and
the most
combating the
significant witness,
weaponization of intelligence
Epstein
by the
files
likes of you.
cover-up
And we have
gets
countlessly proven you to
from
be a
your
liar in
administration,
Russiagate, in
and you call
January
that
6th.
being
You are
in
the biggest
weeds?
fraud to ever sit in the
This
United States
stinks to
Senate.
high
You are a
heaven.
disgrace to this
This stinks to high
institution
heaven.
and an utter
And
coward.
I'm not surprised.
I'm not
I'm
surprised
not
that you continue to lie
that the-
from
the-
your
that the-
perch and put on a show
view
so you can go
of
raise
you
money
know,
for your
and for good
charade.
reason.
You are a political buffoon at best.
Well, you can take an internet troll.
Take
and
it
make-
to
you
the
can take
bank
an
that the
internet-
FBI is protecting
can
this
make an
country
internet troll,
and the state and
the FBI
citizens of the
director
California.
will
We are
always
bringing
be nothing more
historic
than an
reform.
internet
Point of
troll.
order.
But all you care about is a child sex predator that was prosecuted by a prior administration, and the Obama Justice Department and the Biden Justice Department did squat. And what did President Trump do? Bring new charges courageously. And what have we done?
Chairman,
You said
take
I'm the
control
most
of this
transparent
situation.
FBI director in history.
Take control of this situation.
33,000 pages of information to you. I challenge you to say anything credibly to the truth. Go ahead and run to the cameras where you want to go now.
Both of you be quiet.
All right. I don't know if this is physically or chemically possible, but I want to take that video clip. I want to somehow make it a material substance and melt it down into a liquid form so that I can put it into a hypodermic needle syringe and inject that into my veins every single day. How awesome was that? How great was that? That's what I voted for. Right there, that's what I voted for. I want Kash Patel to move to California and run against Adam Schiff, but I wouldn't wish that on him. By the way, you also heard a voice there thundering, and you always hear this whenever you know that a Democrat is in trouble in moments like this, and they're getting owned, and they're about to go viral on lots of podcasts like this. You then hear another senator jumping in and yelling, "Mr. Chairman, you have to take control of this. You have to take control. This. They're trying to throw a lifeline. They're trying to save the sinking ship. That voice you heard was Dick Durbin's. We'll get to Dick in a minute. But the Mensa meeting continued there for the Democrats. Boy, you talk about the buffoons they've got on their side. You start with Cory Booker, you move to Adam Schiff, and now you got this woman, the president of the Democrats' Mensa Club there in the Senate, Mazie Hirono. Now, it's easy to say that Mazie Hirono is dumb. And by the way, I don't think she is. I want you to know that Mazie Hirono is not dumb. For all I know, she's got great wisdom and great intelligence. But here's the problem. When you're on the left and you have to somehow contort basic logic, basic human instinct, basic biology, and just regular everyday know-how and wisdom. You have to set all of that aside to be able to adhere to the woke activist talking points that are forced upon you to be a left-wing Democrat, which she is. So I want you to watch this moment here because it only makes sense if you recognize the fact that she could be the smartest person in the room, but because she has to adhere to the woke left ideology and the mandates from the activist groups that pull the strings for this party, she has forced herself to sound like a moron. Now I've set it up for you. Let's watch.
Move on to my, you've been asked some questions about changes to your hiring standard, and including college degrees and possibly the age. But, one question I had is, that you are now requiring applicants to be able to do a certain kind of pull-ups, which a lot of women cannot because of physiological differences. Are you requiring these kinds of pull-ups?
We are requiring a physical program at BFTC at Quantico because FBI agents carrying guns in the field have to chase down bad guys and do really hard work. The physical fitness standards of those agents
So are
being
you requiring
appropriately
these
assessed.
kinds of pull-ups?
We are requiring everybody to
Oh.
pass the 1811 standards at BFTC. If you want to chase down a bad
Oh,
guy
Excuse me.
and put
the
him in
reason I
handcuffs, you
asked-
better be able to do a pull-up.
The reason I ask is that there are concerns about whether or not being able to do these kinds of harsh pull-ups is really required of FBI agents.
Doing one
Anyway,
pull-up
Mr.
is not
Patel,
harsh,
I
and there are
am
always
greatly
medical
concerned.
exemptions to that.
All right. So I understand, to be a woke left-wing Democrat, you need to confront the director of the FBI and challenge the policy of having a physical fitness test for FBI agents because that would discriminate against women, because women are incapable of doing a pull-up, which, by the way, women are not incapable of doing pull-ups. I lived near the United States Naval Academy. I sponsor many midshipmen. Many of them are women, and they can kick my ass. All right, that's not saying a whole lot. But I assure you, the women in the military and the Naval Academy, et cetera, they can do pull-ups. So Mazie Hirono, see, to make this case, to have to suggest that the FBI is discriminating against women because they are asking women to pass a basic physical fitness standard test, that's not stupid. That's being on the left. It ain't stupid. It's woke. And being woke makes you sound stupid. However, you, if you have a keen eye, may have noticed a bit of a cognitive dissonance here with woke left-wing ideology and activism playing out right before your very eyes. You see, this is the other great thing about being on the left. You have to simultaneously maintain that asking a woman to do a pull-up is discriminatory against women and the FBI should lower their standards. And at the same time, you must allow for men to compete in women's sports because there is no physiological difference between men and women. You have to hold both of those positions at the same time if you're Mazie Hirono. So it's no wonder that people like her sound stupid. Senator Katie Britt of Alabama was sitting at the hearing, and she picked up on this. Dare I say she seized on it. Actually, she pounced.
Before I begin, I want to thank Senator Hirono for what she said, acknowledging that there are physical differences between men and women. Talking about that women wouldn't be able to do as many pull-ups, and I think that she was making a case here that there should be different standards. There's a thing called Title IX, and this is why we continue to say we should have biological men and men's sports and biological women and women's sports. And so I look forward to utilizing that to talk to all of my colleagues on the other side of the aisle. Maybe they will stand with us in helping us protect women's sports. I think she made a great argument there for it.
Beautiful job. Well done, Senator Britt. And finally, I mentioned the aptly named Dick Durbin. There's no truth, by the way, to the rumor that his campaign slogan was Dick Durbin before he dicks you. It's possible, but I don't think that's true. Dick Durbin was asking why Kash Patel had not signed a document, a memo relating to the Epstein case, and Kash Patel had a pretty good response.
Nothing came of that review until July, when DOJ and FBI released an unsigned memorandum stating there is no incriminating client list. Why was this July 7th memorandum unsigned?
Would you prefer I've used AutoPen?
I say again, that's what I voted for. Kash Patel, that's Kash Patel yesterday at the Senate hearings. And I'll give you a sneak preview to tomorrow's show because Kash Patel is on the Hill right now with a round of House hearings. Would you like to see a little bit? All right, I've got two quickies for you. First, here's Congresswoman Pramila Jayapal.
You can't even
Victims
say
credibly came forward, and you know what happened? President Trump authorized the indictments of
President
Jeffrey
Trump
Epstein,
called
not
them
Biden,
a hoax.
not Obama.
President Trump
one
called
else.
the entire thing a Democratic hoax. So I would like to ask
The
you
gentlelady's
if
time has
you
expired.
will
I gave her
meet-
the additional
if
45
you-
seconds she
if you
requested.
will
The
meet-
gentlelady yields back. The gentleman from
Mr.
New
Chairman,
Jersey is
I would like
recognized
to
for his
ask if
5
you would
minutes.
meet with the women who were sexually
Time does not
abused
belong.
and raped and
Time
groomed
does
at
not
the
belong
ages
to the
of
gentlelady from
14
Washington.
and
The time now
16
belongs-
years old. Are
the
you
time-
going to cover up?
No, I'm
Are
not
you
gonna-
going to
I'm
continue
going to
to
recognize
cover
the
up
gentleman
for
from
the
New Jersey
rich
for
and
his 5 minutes.
powerful men, including those that might be on this committee?
I can yell
Or
too,
are
Mr.
you
Chairman.
going
I don't want to
to
yell
allow
above
them
this.
to
The time belongs
testify?
to the gentleman from New Jersey. I
Are you
appreciate
going
the
to allow
gentlelady
them to
yielding back.
testify, Mr. Patel?
Go ahead.
Will
Mr.
you
Angelo.
allow them to testify to you,
Mr. Patel, Mr. Patel, thank you for being here. I know it's been an interesting.
Chairman Jim Jordan is a saint and way more professional than I would have been in that setting. We love Jim Jordan. Good for him. And did you notice Congresswoman Jayapal just there, I believe, accused all of her colleagues in the House of being clients of Jeffrey Epstein and guilty of a cover-up. Just another sane day with Democrats on Capitol Hill. And of course, it's not the circus if you don't have a clown. So here comes Eric Swalwell.
20 of those individuals have been investigated or have had adverse actions. Director, considering that you have identified these people as, quote, government gangsters, will you recuse yourself from making any investigation decisions about these individuals?
Anyone that has been terminated at the FBI has been done.
No, the question
failed
again.
to meet the muster and
Director,
their constitutional
I will
obligation.
work on the
No, no.
audio-visual capabilities.
I'm going to
of terms that
borrow
you
your
can hear me.
terminology and call
I'm reclaiming
bullshit
my
on your
time.
entire career in
I'm
Congress.
reclaiming my
It has
time,
been a
Director.
disgrace to the American
Director, I'm
people.
reclaiming my
You
time.
can
No,
reclaim your
you
time all you
recuse
want.
yourself.
Mr. Chairman,
Try
you're
and
gonna
protect
allow a
the
witness
citizens
to
of
speak, Mr.
California.
Mr.
Chairman,
Would you
give
recuse yourself, Director?
The gentleman has no time.
Mr. Chairman, would you
Mr.
admonish the
witness not to insult members? Gentlemen.
God, that felt good. And yet I think Chairman Jordan enjoyed it too. That just happened about 30 minutes ago on Capitol Hill after our show began. And no doubt we'll have much more tomorrow with Kash Patel meeting members of Congress on Capitol Hill. We'll make sure we deliver to you. Make sure you join us tomorrow for it.